Okay. Okay, hi. I think it works. So I'm just playing out, testing out, I guess, and playing with this setup with. I wanted to try it with like Discord and Twitter and stuff, just to see if that's like a thing that I can do, where someone can kind of like call in and ask something. So hopefully someone will join and ask something. But for now, I just have some stuff to do, and I figured I can do this and maybe test this thing and maybe talk about something. So in terms of what I wanted to talk, um, let me quickly check. Oh yeah, I'm not sharing my screen anymore, so you won't be able to see it. But I posted a tweet recently about like web development, because it's interesting how. Oh yeah, I guess I should just say what I'm going to do. uh, I'm going to visit my parents soon, like first time since like 2 years or something. So I don't remember when was the last time. I think it was in 2020. So maybe already 3 years. And one of the things that I do when I visit them is that like I will bring them a new phone. And so I got them. I mean, it's not probably fair to say that I got them. It's like we, me and my wife, we talked a lot about like what to get and stuff, and so we ended up on Moto G Stylus 5G 2022, which isn't the best phone ever, but that's hopefully kind of like reliable enough and kind of like good enough for them to keep for a few years. And I need to kind of like set them up. I need to spend some time on doing that. So I figured that I can try that. So yeah, so one is kind of green and one is kind of dark blue. So that's going to be like for my mom and my dad. Okay, so what do we need to do? Oh yeah, someone requested. Yeah, sorry, I'm not like.
Yeah, man. Oh, tu parles? Il comprend rien ce que je dis.
Allez,
Oh. Oh my man, where did you go? It's a tough film.
Okay, it turns out that I don't have my screen protectors, so I will drop off for a second and I will search for them. Okay, so I'm back. Turns out I didn't have everything that I needed, but that's good that I'm just testing and not doing it for real, right? Okay. Seems like all systems are running. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how I can monitor all of that stuff at the same time. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. Oh, hi. I also need to figure out how to retweet stuff because I need to go to my profile and find I guess this thing. Now I can share it with the space somehow. Did it work? Okay, I don't see it at least. So I don't know if it does or not. But like part of the thing is that you need to be looking at what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's not that that interesting of a space. Okay, I think it's added it for like in a with like a minute delay, but yeah, if you go to my Twitch or my YouTube, there's going to be a thing that I'm showing. So I'm preparing phones for my parents because I'm going to meet them soon, and that's just kind of like a boring activity that I need to get through. And I know a lot of people do boring activities on Twitch and stuff. So I figured I should try as well. You have to be way more interesting or like popular to do that, but here I am trying to do that anyway. Okay, so is my camera working? Oh yeah, I guess like here's the delay is just bigger. I need to be looking here. Okay, I need 2 screens. It's like one screen is like not enough to do streaming. Okay, so I have three screens. There is a third phone for my in-laws, but it's not here right now. So I'm going to be doing only 2. Okay, so we didn't need that stuff. Okay, so what I was going to talk about, I guess I can start with how much I like doing screen protectors, right? Because I was going to say that at some point I started to care about this more than before. What happened is that I broke a screen for my Nexus 7, something like that. It was like a tablet thing. Okay, so screen protector with the phone, create a hinge, clean the screen, clean dust, peel off and apply. Okay, so we're going to be trying to do that. Alcohol pads. Okay, 3 pads for 3 screens. That's okay. So this one is dust remover. Okay. Bubble remover. Okay, so it's like a hard surface. I wish I had something that I could put here. Maybe this cardboard case. It seems fine. Okay, so yeah, and I broke my tablet, and since then I was like, okay, I should be caring about cases and like screen protectors a bit more. It was actually in a case, but it opened when it was falling. So I know my wife likes to drop phones, so her like screen protectors they always cracked. So, but no cracks on the screen yet. So I don't know how to. That's all like a Russian thing. I don't know how like English speakers would do this. So okay, so this is back this side. The mask from the screen guard. Okay, interesting. So there's only one peel, and it's on that side of the phone. Okay. I also need to do this to turn on the lights. Okay. What do I think so far? I think it's a bit silly that I can only start spaces from the phone. So if I'm streaming from the computer, I'm getting like the delayed stuff. And right, so I think that's why like doing this over Discord is probably better. Right. There are some people who are doing it from like a desktop with like emulation stuff. Okay, this is a long phone. And they're saying, hey, just attach tabs on the bottom, it will be fine. I'm sure it won't be fine. Okay, so let's do what they say anyway. So first we are just like aligning stuff. Yeah, it's like not even covering that much of the phone. Okay, not that happy with this screen protector so far. I installed screen protector for my new phone for like which is Pixel 6a, and it actually like I really like how it installed and stuff. So okay, I also don't like that it like the space is getting how do you call it? Like the phone is getting locked, not locked. Yeah, no, probably locked. But which maybe it's just a setting in the yeah, just make it bigger. Interesting. There's a setting for like if you're looking at the phone, it shouldn't turn off, which I'm curious to test. Okay. So let's see if that's going to work. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of the setup so far, but hey. Okay, so we have those things for 3 phones. So it's if I use 2, it's like one of them is enough for 3 phones. If I use 3, it should be still enough. Okay. So this is a cleaning tape. What's this one then? It's dust remover. Okay. Yellow stickers. Fix the screen protector. Okay. Which one is the yellow sticker? Is this one the yellow sticker? Okay, I'm curious to try it. Now that I know that it exists. It says dust remover. And this one is cleaning tape. Okay, I'm a bit confused, but let's try it anyway. So we're going to do this, I think. Yes, now we need to set it on the phone in some kind of symmetrical fashion. So does it look good? It doesn't. I'm like fascinated by spaces, but I think like the idea of a running space is to not complicated, but like too involved. First of all, you need to like you need to like moderate and hi Nicola. Is that Panzer glass? Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. So this is what I'm using. I usually just buy like kind of like almost whatever comes up on the Amazon, but over the years it seems like I'm using like just a few brands. So it's Mr. Shield, I guess, and I used it before, so it's fine. Kind of the same. What's is it like a just like European name for it or something? I'm not really sure what you mean. Okay, those lights are like motion detecting, and I'm not doing enough motion. Okay, turn on. Pencil or glass. Okay, now that I know that it's something good, I can I can I can look for it next time. So so now the idea is that we need to we need to clean it with a cloth and alcohol wipe. Yeah, so since you joined, I will just like explain what's happening. So I'm testing this thing with Twitter Spaces of like, can people kind of like join me? So it like they're on the stream. I'm not happy entirely with the process, and but I just and like I never hosted this space before. I think I has hosted like one before, but it was just like a test space too. So and I don't even remember anything that was happening there. So this is my like testing stuff, and I want to test the next time. I'm going to test like using like Discord events or whatever. That means that I would have to create Discord server, unfortunately, which I was not doing for the longest time. Okay, seems pretty clean, but hey, what do I know? I'll change the space. Okay, so yeah, it's basically like on my Twitter. I think I have a link in my like YouTube video, but not in Twitter. Not on Twitch. Okay, so hopefully that's clean enough. And now we build this thing. Hope that no dust falls on it while I'm doing this. Okay. See, it still looks clean. Okay, it does. So now just plop and hope for the best. Okay, looks fine. Started to adhere. I think it's better if it starts from the center. Okay, I can invite you as a speaker. Bubbles self-satisfying. I don't know. So the benefit of you joining spaces is that you're going to have like a like a minute or less, like a delay that is like shorter, probably like about a minute. Okay, so it doesn't look perfect, but I think I can work with it. It's probably like too far away from the like camera to see. Okay. Yeah, so I still have like a few bubbles. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's like that's the like the funny thing is that delay is so long, so that like my image like on camera doesn't match what I'm saying on um, on Spaces. So I hope like Discord is going to be better because I joined few like I don't know how they call it like in Discord stages or something, and it's like delay there is like really low, so it should be cool to try that one out. I know that Theo people used to like do Twitch and Spaces at the same time, but that was like before I started following him, so I didn't see it kind of like in real time. I know that he did that for like Elon Space. Okay, I see some crap like on the screen, but I don't know if like that's under this glass or not. Okay, so let's show it up. Where is the camera actually? Okay, it's here, and if I find like a light. Okay, I still have like some delay because it's like a Wi-Fi phone. How do I? Okay, I'm gonna like that. I don't know how to find it. Okay, yeah. So it almost has no bubbles. There is like a one kind of like piece of lint that is under the screen, and I have no idea what it can do with it. It's good. Okay, so let me just see if there's something good or bad with it. Yeah, anyway, so because I'm like not actively doing anything, like I'm not like developing or something, so it came up pretty symmetrical, and this one piece of lint is like pissing me off, but I don't know if I should mess with it. Okay, it's like not even turned on the phone, so I saw it. Oh yeah, I came up actually with like one more solid pawn for there's like a Sloyd, and I came up with one more. I haven't signed up for a npm package yet, so I'm keeping it secret what it is. But yeah, expect more solid pawns from me. Okay, is that the case? Yeah, so anyway, so because I'm not busy with anything, if you have any questions that I can like answer without like showing the code and stuff, you're free, I'm sorry, feel free to ask them. I was going to talk about like React server components because I'm like, how do I say it? Okay, so this is for my mom, so it's supposed to be like a supposed to look pretty. Yeah, thank you. My wife was like selecting it, so it actually like there's like a texture to it as well. So I think like yeah, it's yeah. Okay, I will let her know that you were happy with it. Yeah, so looks cool. Okay, so let's do the other one. So that's for my dad. Yeah, so like we bought ourselves new phones. So like our old phones we're going to give up to my in-laws, and like this is for my parents. We're going to buy them like two of the same phones so that they can like help each other. Novel concept. So I don't know how novel that is, because as I said, I heard that like I heard that Theo used to do that, and in terms of technology, I actually wanna try the Discord stuff, and that's basically like when I expect that someone from kind of like from the audience will like say something. But yeah, I think if I'm ever going to record like a podcast or something, I think that's a like a cool way of and I saw either like a Fast Jam or like JavaScript Jabber, like some of those like podcasts. I think some of them like do that. They basically like record it on Spaces, and that's yeah. If I'm ever doing like a podcast, I think that's like a cool distribution for it. So then the problem is like, if I already have like my stream, how do I like turn my stream into a space? So like I need I need like a restream or something that will like just like package it as a space, so that I don't have to think about it. But yeah, they don't have API for that. And given the like Elon's Twitter, yeah, I didn't see like kind of like new features rolling out. New features that like will cost money, right? I didn't see Elon doing that. Okay. NFCs. So NFC is actually, I think those all of those phones have like 5G and an NFC, which is that was like NFT, no NFC. So which is pretty cool in terms of the modernization. But then again, like my parents and in-laws, they live in Russia, and I don't know if like NFC even works in Russia now. It's a complicated world, and it's actually like I figured, okay, can we just like buy something in Russia for them? And it looks like only things that are like sold there are like Chinese phones without like Google Play and stuff. So it's not a pretty story. Okay, so first one was pretty okay. So let's not mess it up on the second one. You're Bulgarian, yeah. I had like at some point just like I follow a few people who are like either like not post completely in English, or I even follow so in people who are like not completely posting in English, right? So like I follow a few like people, like Russian people that I followed like before I switched my Twitter to English, and I follow like few just like how do you say it, like characters. Were like yeah, it was like, okay, they said something interesting. If it's in a language that I don't understand, why is that stopping me to follow them? So I follow one guy who's mostly posting in like English or Tokipona, which is like a artificial language. So there's like I don't know, like a few thousand people in the world who speak it, and I learned about it when I was like in university, and it was like, yeah, it's a fun language. And I only know like a few words, but it's just the concept that is like funny. And so I follow that guy, Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I basically like I follow a few people who like I sometimes like post in Russian for when it's like worth it. And so I follow some people who are like, yeah, just like post in like Chinese, Japanese, and all of that stuff. So yeah, and I think I follow like two or three people from like Bulgaria because of like, oh, they're posting in like in this sounds like so similar, but like I can't understand anything kind of way, like compared to Russian. So do you know Russian or like I wonder how close it is, if that makes sense, like Bulgaria to Russia, like how uh, how do I say it? There's like Georgia, right? Georgia is like they have their own Georgian language, which is like completely different from Russian. But like I don't know, half of the people like in that country speak Russian, and you have like Estonia, which is like really close to Russia. There are like a lot of Russians living there, so it's like they're not Georgians who know Russian; they're like Russians, right? And they're like, and I've been there like I don't know, like 15 years ago, like in Estonia, and I would like go like order something in Russian, and they're like, no, we don't understand, and like they will like speak in English, and like they probably understand. I don't know. It's like just they're just like no, it's not cool to be a Russian in like in Estonia, and like no Russian and stuff. Anyway, yeah, Slavic language. Yeah. And it's funny that like Poland, like Slovenia, Slovakia, and all that stuff. Like some of them like look similar to Russian, but like they say it differently. Some of them like look completely different, but like sound the same. And yeah, it's like a whole thing. It was mandatory to learn Russian. That's interesting. Okay, so let's let's try to clean it up. Yeah, I know that's like Soviet. I don't know, like Soviet Pact was like Warsaw Pact or whatever. Like in Soviet times, like everyone was like expecting that there will be no borders, like everyone is going to be happy. There's going to be no money. So the only thing that happened is like no one has money. But yeah, I expect that some people were like, some countries were like, yeah. So let's learn Russian. Everything is going to be communist now. Interesting. Okay, so I don't see any link now. The question is, can I peel everything? Without adding more lint. It's best to do it like in the sun. I don't have like the best possible light conditions here, but okay, let's try it. Okay, it's not. Okay, it didn't go that great. At least I didn't see any lint. Yeah, Soviet bloc, and now it's like a BRICS, right? It's like new kind of thing. I'm like subscribed to like some of the like Russian news, and they're like, hey, look at it. They're like on this graph, like BRICS versus some other countries, like is getting. Well, they're even measuring, I don't know, like how rich everyone is, I guess. And it's like, yeah, here's the thing, we're winning. Okay, so let's start it. Let's start bubbling stuff. Okay. Okay, I think we're doing fine. I should clean it up a bit. I guess if you don't have any questions, I have a few questions for you. What do you do for work, right? So I see you like hanging out in a lot of streams, and I wonder if that's like, um, how do I say it? I sometimes like hang out in like Prime stream, right? So he's doing Rust, and I'm like, I'm not doing Rust. I'm just hanging out. And I wonder what's kind of like the story is for you. Okay, there are still like some bubbles on the top, so I'm trying to get rid of them. I have a business. We develop websites, and I'm developing other software products, mostly living off my savings for the moment. Had a career over 10 years in web dev. Oh, interesting. So you had a company and you made a lot of money. So like, what was the company doing? Okay, there are like few things more left. I don't know how to show it. It's kind of like too small. Open card, yeah. I have a friend who is like doing PHP still. And he's like talking about like open cards and stuff. When you say freelancing, is it like a Upwork kind of like a stuff, or do you just have a like your own agency and like people just like ask you to work for them? When you say you like code, are you saying that you like PHP code? Because that sounds scary. Yeah, the PHP one is interesting. So I I I started with like Pascal, and I was like in 2005, and I was looking at the URLs, and I was like, why do all URLs end with .php? What's even happening there? So so that's how I got into, I don't know, like installing like PHP, BB, like all of those kind of like just like forum software and just writing my own stuff. You're already right. Yeah, that's actually like my kind of like theory that I'm getting to I'm developing, I guess. My theory is that like everything in web dev depends on like a hosting provider. So that's like everyone's like, no, we need like this functionality, and like we need that framework and stuff. And it's like it all boils down to like, okay, if you're going to host it on Heroku, you're writing it in Ruby. If you're going to host it like there, you're going to write it like in that way. So it's like if you're going to host it on Vercel, you're going to write it Next.js. So it's like that's kind of like how my theory goes. Okay, that's interesting. So this case doesn't fit this phone. That's really unfortunate. So it's basically like, I don't know how to show it properly. Like here, no, here. Yeah, so like button is aligned in the clear one and it's like misaligned on the black one. Okay, yeah, and the headphones are like not there. Yeah, I don't know. There's some like misinformation of like, hey, those cases can fit like this in this phone, and yeah. Okay, so we know that this one is not going to fit, so we would have to figure out something else. Okay, so, but other than that, I think that's kind of like all the stuff that I planned. I might actually bring the third phone. Clear one's probably original. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how original they are. It's it's like this one was clear one, so it's just like a Chinese thing. So it's clearly not original. This one has like a mono logo, but yeah, they don't. It's like 2021, so I don't know. It's just could be like a wrong year. Okay, that's a bit sad, and we're not going to do anything with it. So. So I think I didn't bring all the stuff that I need for other phones. So I might bring it. There's not that much light, of course, to do that, but maybe I should. Okay. Nokia. Yeah. I have Nokia like Nokia. What is it? Is it? Yeah. Nokia 6300. which is it doesn't have a touch screen, and I was testing. I was testing stuff on it. By the way, I should test it again because we changed a lot of stuff. But it's basically it's like WebOS or something like that. So it doesn't do anything, and that's fun. Okay, so I want to talk about PHP with you, but we need to figure out what I should do next. Okay, I can't fix my Pixel 5a screen now because it's in a holder, and I don't have my other phone with me now to do the other screen. But I might just go and grab it. Content. Yeah. I'm doing this for like a year now, and I just coming to the conclusion that I'm like not how to say I don't have like the patience for content because it's like everything needs to be like on schedule, everything needs to be done like in some particular way, and yeah, I'm I'm just doing stuff when I have time, how do I say it? Oh, Fuzzy Bear, interesting. And Fuzzy even actually requested speaking. Okay, invite to speak. How do I do that? Okay, let me know if that works because I'm so confused by this UI. Okay. Okay, I guess I sent him an invite, but he didn't accept it. It's basically like it looks like that. There's like speakers requested to speak. Okay, so he requested to speak again. I approve it, and he's a listener again. what does it mean? I'm not crazy. Like okay, so I'm inviting him to speak, and I know there's sometimes it will just like drop. Twitter will just drop the connection and stuff, and you will be just like sent to listeners. Okay, it says invite, but he is still a listener here. I can invite to speak. I mean, it's fuzzy. I can probably invite him to co-host, right? That seems like a reasonable thing to do. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want it to speak, and okay, requested. Okay, and I approve. And it dropped again. Okay. Let's just make him a co-host because I don't know what else to do. Co-host can invite, remove, and mute speakers. Okay. Co-host can't invite other co-hosts. Okay, that seems like a reasonable thing to do. Okay, he sent me an emoji, so. Okay. So he's having some fun at least. Okay. I sent an invite to co-host. That's okay. I can invite you to be speaker again. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, let me invite you to speaker again. And if it drops your connection, maybe you're still like a co-host after that. Okay, you have been invited as a speaker. And I don't want this space to be a space where I tried to invite Fuzzy and couldn't. This is going to be like a huge shame. Okay, so let's try this out. So Fuzzy, can you hear me? Can you send like emoji that you can hear me? I guess there's like a thumbs up and thumbs down. Bear, fix your damn Wi-Fi. I don't know if that's like his problem. It's it's more likely just Twitter problem. Okay. So Fuzzy, uh, can you hear me? Can you send like a thumbs up that you can hear me? Okay. He sent me like a message, so I will try to reply to that. It's not happening. Nope. Uh, does it drop your connection or what? Seamless, yeah. That's. I mean, I heard the Astro team like had huge problems with with their like I forgot how it's called again. Stages. So yeah, I guess like it's not perfect. Okay. Okay. So what I was going to do is to grab one more phone to try to do screen for it, but then I would have to be like away for a few minutes. Now I don't know if I should do that. Maybe Twitter Spaces will be fixed in a few minutes, right? That's possible. Okay, Fuzzy disconnected. So I don't know what that means. Maybe he didn't want to be a speaker, and I just like tried and I pushed him too hard. Okay, so I'm going to try to get third phone. If I'm successful, I will do that one as well. If I'm not successful, that's going to be it, I guess. Okay. Uh, I would have said like talk amongst yourself, but everyone's a listener, so yeah, just wait for me. Oops. Okay, I'm back. And that one is going to be like probably like a bit more interesting because it's actually like cracked. Yeah, and I figured out what happened with the case. So it turns out that this black case, that's a proper phone. That's my wife's phone, dude. She's just that's how all of her phones look. Unfortunately, apparently this case is for this phone, so it's like all the stuff is fitting this phone. So, and for this black phone, case is still in the mail. So it's actually, it makes more sense now what what was happening. Okay, so we need to remove this thing now. Okay, so let's go back to this. That's going to be the third and final screen protector. And let's do it. So first I need to get rid of the old cracked one. It's actually pretty fun activity usually because it's like it will crack even more when you peel it off. Unfortunately, this phone doesn't have like a cool story behind those cracks. The phone that she had before was like, yeah, I like, she could have said like, yeah, I broke it in Iceland. It was like, it cracked on a nice volcanic rock and stuff. So here just cracked. There's no interesting story. Interesting that it has like a black border. I didn't know they do that. Okay. Okay. It's actually not that bad. There is like a plastic film, and it's all holding on it. So okay, I was expecting much worse. Okay, so now there's tons of dirt. Okay, I also need to figure out how to remove this thing because that's what we use for like this is like a metal plate that we use for our car mount, but where this phone is going, there's not going to be any car mounts. So okay, so let's go back to our topic of like liking PHP. So I started with like Delphi and all of that stuff. Then I figured, what's this .php stuff? And when I was learning PHP, most of the materials were for like PHP. Okay, I'm going to mess all the version names, but I think it was like PHP 3.5. And there was like a shiny new PHP like with objects, and object-oriented programming was like all the rage. And at that time, like we were sure that Java is going to save us all, and the other half was sure that like .NET is going to save us all. So that's what was happening at the time. I hear some sounds from time to time, and I don't know what that means. Zand, yeah, Zand was. I'm still like fascinated by Zand, and once you do your coffee, I will I will ask you a few questions about that. Okay. Okay. I don't know how to trigger my motion detection again. Hey, motion detection, I'm here. Maybe I'm too black or something. Hey, motion detection. It's probably like infrared or something. I don't know how to trigger it. Now I have to see it in the dark. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay, I think it's coming off. Oh, I'm already doing it for an hour. Oh, wow. Probably would have went a bit faster if I wasn't playing with the stream, but then it would have been much more boring. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're doing something. I don't know if that's good, but it's something. Oh, wow. Okay. That's great. That went much smoother than I ever expected. So I have a this thing. So if I do this, I can just do it something like that. Okay. Okay. So you joined Spaces. I don't know if that means that you're back. Okay. Need another thing. There are like some sounds that Twitter makes, but I have no idea what they mean. Okay, it's actually, it went so much better than I ever expected. Okay, I need to try to turn it on again. Okay, it worked. It's getting much warmer. So I can get rid of this thing. Okay. Okay, it looks basically brand new. There's some small scratch, but okay, and someone with a dark background name So I can see it in my dark mode. D'Amico. Do you ever use the Laravel? Yeah, so I guess I should restart a bit of my story of like when I was doing PHP, it was like 3.5, and like Zen was a thing. Vue. So you're also a Vue fan. Um, so when I was doing it was like 3.5, and everyone was so excited about like new object-oriented features, which uh, which meant that like every interview that you go for PHP, they will like the first thing they will ask you is like, what are the 4 principles of object-oriented programming? And it's so funny when I like talk with people like I don't know, like 10 years later. I'm like, okay, so what is the question? Like, what is the first question that they ask you when you go to interviews? And they're like, yeah, 4 principles of object-oriented programming. So, uh, so the thing was with PHP is that I got interested in security, and by got interested, I mean I was hacked a few times. So, like, I think Hack, which is like a PHP compiler for from Facebook, already had types for PHP. So I didn't even knew that it was like a thing that PHP developers care. um, yeah, so the story was that I used to write a lot of PHP that I was running just like on my computer, and one of those things was sending messages through this like funny protocol that the only way to access that protocol was to use like CLI, basically like a Linux binary, and I would like send a message as like a parameter or something. I don't remember like exact details, but there was like a shell injection, and like this guy who was like already working somewhere, so he was probably like on his like 5th year or something, like developing. He's like, hey, it's so funny, I can like remove your index.php. So since then, I started to learn. Since then, I started to learn about Git and security, because like I didn't have a backup for that index.php file, so he basically shut off my like whole thing, and it took like a few days to restore from like some previous versions that I had. So it was a really good experience, like that he did. Uh, uh, and so yeah, and the thing about security with PHP is that like some people would do it, and I just noticed the pattern is that you have people who would start with PHP. They will write like a few security articles about like, hey, now that I finally know PHP, here's like why it's like all of it is bad, and this is like what you should do to make it better. And then like a few months later, this guy is writing Python. At the start of my work, our whole website got hacked. They cloned it and bought every single product for $1. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, that's that could happen like in any language. I remember that like I worked with some guy who was like, yeah, here's like here's the thing that we're using. It's like happy or something like that, like a Node.js server, and it's like I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like much better. And it was like in 2019 probably when I looked at it, and then I stumbled upon the like this library that they had like a they used to have this security vulnerability because they would like eval cookies or something like that. So it's like, wow, this is like PHP level kind of like security here. Like, why are people even doing this? But anyway, so it's like I noticed this pattern of like people will be like script kiddies who are like 13 as me, and they will do some stuff with PHP because that was like the lowest common denominator. But then, uh, but then once they have some issues in production, once they figure out how to like write good software, they will just switch to like Python or something else. It's like there were no senior PHP developers in kind of like just in my experience. It's like as soon as you become senior PHP developer, you just switch to something else, and that's basically what I did. As soon as I kind of like figured out like how PHP works, I was like, okay, I don't need this anymore. And so to my kind of like understanding of PHP is from, I don't know, like the latest that I was doing it was like probably in 2010. And so that was like already like WordPress and stuff. I did like Drupal. I was like thinking, yeah, Drupal is the coolest one, and all that stuff. But then just like for work, I just got hired to write Drupal. Oh, I'm sorry, like WordPress website. So I was like, yeah, this is not as fancy, but like at least they pay me. And then I just got hired to do like Erlang. uh, and then in about 2015, 14, I guess, maybe even before that, I started doing like TypeScript and React and stuff, just because like we couldn't like hire anyone to do our web development, so we kind of like had to switch to it ourselves. And I was the one who convinced our CTO to switch to React. He was like, "Yeah, I'm tired of JavaScript. Let's do TypeScript." And we started our rewrite, and like we wrote some of the stuff in TypeScript, and I was like, "Yeah, but it's like we are only fixing like kind of like the half of the problem because we were using Knockout.js, like all the directives or whatever was the term at the time. They were still just like strings. So you still would have a lot of like undefined is not a function and stuff. And my contribution was that like we were writing a Slack competitor, and in like 2014 we were like, okay, let's switch to TypeScript and React, and I think like Flux, and like a few months later, maybe like a year later, we saw that Slack started to rewrite everything to TypeScript and React also. So we didn't get as successful as Slack, but we Sales.js. So what is Sales.js? We didn't get as popular as Slack, but it was like kind of like validating to see, hey, they're choosing the same framework. It seems like that's the right one to bet on at the time. And they were using Redux, and we were using Flax. I didn't think like Redux even existed when we started, but it existed when they started. MVC for JavaScript. So yeah, so that's the thing, is that I kind of like didn't care too much about any of that stuff. The way that it happened is that when I started doing web, we were already on Knockout. When we were thinking of switching from Knockout, there was basically there wasn't too much to compare. Kind of like it was kind of like clear win for React. It felt that way, at least. I remember when I was working as like PHP developer for like a half a year because I needed to get some money. Like the company was using PHP and they were like rewriting the front end from like Ember to Angular or vice versa. I don't even remember. And I just like would talk to the guy. Oh, okay, my battery is dead. I guess I will just finish it soon. So anyway, so I will just like finish that that Angular story. So they were rewriting everything from like Ember to Angular or something like that. I was like, wow, I'm so happy that I'm not doing that. that was the feeling. I'm like, this is kind of like the web development is at kind of like at all times low. And it's like, yeah, I'm so happy I don't have to do that. And when React happened, it was like, yeah, that's clearly the best way. And I kind of like didn't even care what is happening in web dev until like a few years ago when I started watching like Ryan's streams and stuff. that's when I kind of like got more interested into that, because that feels like right now it feels like things became interesting. And I don't know. Or maybe things on the back end became not as interesting. I see like some people got excited by Rust. My excitement was about like Go. I was sure that I will be like a Go developer. And yeah, it just so happened to be that I started doing Erlang instead. Okay. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of this case. Like it's a bit silly that it's like a black case for the I don't know how to show it, for like a pink phone. Maybe not pink, lavender. I'm not bad with I'm not good with colors, but it looks fine in terms of the screen protection. Okay, so we did 3 phones today. It took us 1.5 hours. That's kind of too much. We didn't get Fuzzy to join, but we played with stuff. So what do I think about all of this? Yeah. What do I think about PHP? PHP is fine, but it's actually funny that there is a talk from a guy who was like CTO of Slack or something like that. He was like a big guy in like Facebook and Slack, and he was doing something with Hack. Maybe I don't remember. I know that he gave like a presentation from when he was working at Slack, and his presentation is like why PHP or something like that, and it's like why PHP is like still a thing, and it's really interesting because I think that was kind of like the lowest point of PHP, of like where everyone was like, okay, PHP is not going to like happen. It's like, yeah, it's like everything that was like good about PHP is dead. And he got like during the Q&A, he got a question of, hey, what do you think about this like Laravel framework that just happened? And he's like, I don't know. There are like a lot of frameworks. Who knows if like this one is going to be the one? And I think Laravel is kind of like single-handedly kind of like saved PHP because it was my thing about like no senior developer was doing PHP is like, yeah, but Laravel was like done by a senior developer who was doing PHP. So like clearly there was such a thing. And I think that's where kind of like PHP. I don't know if that's like, I don't know what I want to try. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but at that time, it felt like PHP will die. There's like nothing that will keep it alive. And WordPress and Laravel did keep it alive. And it's in a funny sense, is like everyone who hated PHP had a chance to live it with like Go and like JavaScript. Um, so now people who do PHP, they kind of like care more about it. They like it more. So it's actually kind of like a good thing. The same way as like Ember or Angular is like everyone had like 10 years to leave Angular. And so now people who are still doing Angular, they kind of like it more. So I don't have any chance to kind of like to go back to PHP because I think like for me, Elixir and JavaScript do kind of like cover all the cases where I would have ever needed PHP, and that goes back to my idea of like of how like hosting is like really responsible for for you choosing a language. It's like, yeah, but like where am I going to host this PHP website? That's kind of like thing. Is like, am I going to buy like a shared hosting and just like hope that they're like patching their Apache or something? So it's like, I don't know. It just feels that it's there are no good solutions for that, and like as opposed to like Netlify or I don't know like Fly.io for like JavaScript or I guess like Vercel, right, for JavaScript. I guess those ones are kind of like more exciting in terms of where, like how you want to deploy your web application, and that's why I'm like not excited about PHP. And but I like that. They're kind of like people who are left. Not all of them are script kiddies. Some of them are like real engineers, and they're trying to make actually like the language better. So that's a good thing. And but I just I don't need to hang out there. And what else? Yeah, I think the other cool thing is that the live view pattern that they adapted with like Livewire or whatever it's called. That's also cool. I don't use this like a pattern myself, but it's cool that it's like alive. It's like Dan Abramov was talking about React, and he was like, yeah, so when we discovered this pattern of like doing kind of like apps this way, it was really cool, and we now hope that this pattern will be preserved. That it's a cool pattern, and like more people should know about it. And it's more important that the idea of this pattern will stay alive than like this exact pattern will stay alive. So I feel the same way about like a live view and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's maybe like at this time it's not the hottest thing that everyone wants to use, but I hope that this will still exist, and people will know that you can do it this way, because it's funny how kind of like front end and back end are converging and going into kind of like similar direction. And it's good if they know that there's like something that already does what they're just trying to invent. And I think that's a helpful thing. Okay. Thank you everyone, but it's just Nicola. He's the only one who's keeping this thing alive. And I will try to do it next time over Discord. I just need to find an activity like that is like